Hi, so today I'm going to be answering the question about flight delay compensation and flights on Aer Lingus. People ask the question whether or not they'll be able to make a claim for Aer Lingus flights. Now, with an Aer Lingus flight, because they are an EU operated airline, it's an Irish airline, then you would be able to make a claim. But more importantly, you'll be able to make a claim for flights departing from the UK on an Aer Lingus flight, but also you'll be able to make a claim of flights arriving back to the UK. And that's the important distinction between an EU operated aircraft, or airline I should say, and a non-EU operated airline. So you'll be able to make a claim for flights in both directions depending on which one had the delay. Of course, if they both had a delay, you'd be able to make two claims in theory. The criteria that you then need to satisfy is the number of hours the delay or the delayed flight impacted on you. And that has to be more than 3 hours. And that's 3 hours delayed arrival. And the delayed arrival, or the deemed time of arrival, is not when it lands on the tarmac, but when the first door is opened of that aircraft. So you are able then to continue on your journey or your life after being confined within the aircraft. The delay itself has to be the fault of the airline. Faults of the airline would include crew illnesses, crew turning up late, a fault with the aircraft. But things that won't be the airline's fault, of course, is bad weather, bird strikes, political unrest, volcanoes erupting, and those type of things. And that's only fair because at the end of the day, that's out of their power and that cannot be down to the airline. The other thing that will affect the amount of compensation you get from Aer Lingus would be the distance you've travelled. There's up to 1,500 kilometres, 1,500 kilometres to 3,500 kilometres, and then over 3,500 kilometres. And for flight delay compensation, so where the flight is delayed, you can get anything from €250 through to €600, around about £540 at today's exchange rate. Now, if the flight was cancelled or you had denied boarding, that range and the rules are slightly different. And the range of compensation is anything from €125 through to 600, or the same cap of €600. So there are a few more complications that you have to, I guess, work your way through to decide on how much your claim would be in the case of a cancellation or denied boarding. So how would you make the claim against Aer Lingus? Well, you would write to them with your evidence, boarding card and so on, detailing within your letter, within the body of the letter, your flight, the delay, etc., number of passengers or people within your party that were delayed or affected by the particular delay we're talking about here. Alternatively, you can get someone to make the claim for you, someone that's got a legal department, someone that takes away the hassle, and someone that is good at writing those letters and encouraging. I'll use the word encouraging because not all airlines like this and not all airlines are happy to compensate you for your delay. There is a link below to a company that does, or sort of details about a company that does this, and that's on a no-win, no-fee basis. So of course there's no risk to you, and they only get paid when you get paid. So actually it's quite a good service. If you have had a delayed flight on Aer Lingus and you want to make that claim, of course the choice is yours. And as long as it falls within the criteria that I've talked about in this video, then you can go ahead and make the claim. And just one final point, you can make a claim for any delayed flight that falls into the criteria I've just talked about over the last 6 years. So if you've only just been made aware of this rule, then you can go back 6 years. Of course, the longer back the delay was, the less likely you may even have retained the information. And that's certainly where a professional company comes in, because they can help you and they've got access to things that you may not have access to actually make that claim. But of course you could still make the claim yourself, and of course then you would get 100% of the compensation. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your claim if you do have a flight delay compensation claim. But if you do have any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you.